Going forward, I think things are going to get really bad for Rhaenyra. Really bad for everyone, but especially for Rhaenyra. The reason being that you have these opposing forces going on with her where thus far she hasn't really done anything bad, right? Like she's been wronged in some ways, but at the same time has had patience and tried to do what was best for the realm and whatnot. But that patience and understanding hasn't really worked out for her. Where other people's actions, Daemon's, Hightower's, has kind of put her in a tough spot. If you think of it, she showed a lot of restraint throughout the first season, where with Alicent and Hightower and Sir Christian Cole and whatnot plotting against her, sure, she defended herself, but she never really took action to really seek out revenge against them. With the death of her son, it kind of shows like the power and authority that they hold and can sway as rulers, where even the implication stating that she wanted Aemond was enough for Daemon to go out and try to get him. Daemon has kind of been her attack dog to some degree. The person somewhat keeping like the enemies at the gates. Where she's smart, she's pragmatic, she's like pretty calm, cool, thinks about the realm. But in those moments when it's time to fight, Daemon has been the one to distinguish himself as a fierce fighter. And it's like with the mounting tension between them, he's removed from the situation for the time being. But it's like with him gone, and we can't quite tell as yet how permanent that is, it kind of leaves Rhaenyra in a vulnerable position, because it's like you might end up with problems. Because the other side is willing to do whatever to get ahead, to get and maintain control. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra is still kind of playing by the rules. Rhaenyra has arguably lost Daemon, which was, she is smart, she can think, she's like the practical one, even-tempered and whatnot, but needed that threat of danger. On Team Green, you have it where Aegon, and I look at it like him and Aemond as being two sides of the same coin. On Team Green, you have it where Aemond and Aegon are kind of out of control and need someone to reel them in. Aegon, in his moment of rage and lack of self-control, he dismisses Hightower as the king's hand. And the reality is that both of these people, Rhaenyra and Aegon, they need these advisors. Rhaenyra needs Daemon in her corner to kind of pose that threat to keep her enemies at bay as much as possible. And then you look at it on the other side, you have where Hightower was kind of a common presence. Hightower was functioning as the pressure valve. Hightower and the King's Council were in place to provide advisement for Aegon, because he lacks the experience. He never used to sit in on meetings and things like that. He doesn't actually understand how things are run. And so you have it where, with Hightower removed, you think back to the previous episode where Alicent was warning Hightower that the last thing they want to do is to have Aegon and Aemond feel like they no longer need them. And here you have it where Aegon comes to that conclusion. So it's going to be interesting to see where things go from here. On Rhaenyra's side, she's getting this really bad reputation, but she's kind of soft at the same time. And then on the other side, you have it where Aegon has like no real self-control. Aegon, who has now broken free and no longer has his grandfather, mother, or these other with the capacity to keep him under control. So it's going to be interesting throughout the rest of the season, especially as now things are moving towards the dragons getting involved, where up to this point they've more so been used as like a threat to keep the enemy at bay, not so much to attack. Well, except for Aemond. And now you have it where they're going to start with like the dragons fighting. As was predicted by, I think it was Rhaenyra, King's Landing is going to suffer for it. But if it's anything like these last 2 episodes have been, I'm here for it.
Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, go ahead and click the thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.